3 minutes. 3 minutes can affect your life. Think about a situation where you might have an extreme emotional response. You at a stoplight and someone cuts you off. Somebody approaches you in what you consider a disrespectful way. Your check is short, and you really, really need the money this week. Now, some folks have learned how to take a deep breath and other certain ways of how to de-escalate those situations in the 3 minutes after they happen. But if you grew up and you didn't have social emotional regulation, those 3 minutes could be a real setback. Stack on top of that, you may have experienced trauma. Many of the kids in our program have had 7 major episodes of trauma. Trauma can affect your brain. It can make you distrustful. It can make you argumentative. It can make you aggressive. Trauma has a similar effect as PTSD after a war. I was fortunate enough to have Deacon Booker Wright. Deacon Wright said, "Big man, you can't be up and out." I was like, "What you mean?" He said, you cannot always respond emotionally to a situation that happens to you. You have to first think about it and then respond. Growing up, I thought that if you had people who cared about you, supported you, that would be enough. But I didn't think about these 3 minutes and how much trauma the young people had experienced. Based on my own life experience, I thought that having good advocates was the key to success. And it is, but in some cases, they just need a little bit more. Although I lost my father at an early age, my mom's involvement in the Brainerd community helped create protective factors for me in that particular community. Mom was the type of person that would clean up garbage at the bus stop. She volunteered at the baseball league. She helped elect state and local officials. She was just a great person. Even on her deathbed, she told me, she said, make sure the grass is cut at the church. I was like, what? Yes, ma'am, I'll make sure the grass is cut at the church. She was a person who dared to take responsibility. And she lived by this motto: children learn by precept and example. In my community, I met my advocate, Coach Lee Burns. Coach Lee Burns, he shared his time and his treasure with us. He took us to football camps. He showed us how to act and how to conduct ourselves. He was just a great person. His investment in me paid off. I was able to get a football scholarship and meet lifelong friends. His motto was, be a man amongst men. I thought that having people like great advocates like my mom, Coach Burns, would be enough, But I would find out later on in my career that sometimes it's just not enough. They just need a little bit more. After college, I came home and I got my first job. And I was fortunate enough to meet 2 great people in my life. I met my lovely wife of 30 years, Melody, and I met Antoine McNutt. Affectionately, we called him Big Nut. But Antoine, he had a real impact in my life. So one of our philosophies in the work that we do is giving back. So I had received all the support from Coach Burns, Deacon Wright, my mom, and countless others who had supported and mentored me, because my father had passed, and other people stepped in to provide support, people in the Brandon community. So I figured I owed. And I had my opportunity. Antoine was my first opportunity to give back. I met Antoine when he was 13 years old. And, he had experienced some trauma, but I'm not really here today kind of talk about his particular trauma. I want to talk about how resilient and how strong he was. Antoine and his friends taught me how to do this work. They taught me as much as I taught them about how to be resilient, compassionate, to have a never give up approach, to really hang in there with young people and show the level of commitment. Antoine was one of the first people, although he had experienced a lot of trauma, he said, and they called me Red, he said, Red, some of these babies need a little bit more than us as good advocates. They need therapy. Antoine and the team formed a group called the Hood Group. The Hood Group stands for Holding On to Your Own Destiny, where kids, young people, and the staff, the kids can have an opportunity to talk about the trauma that they had experienced, give them the support that they need, establish those great relationships. And these groups were really working. In 2015, an opportunity presented itself where we could see if the advocate plus therapy would actually work. University of Chicago, MacArthur Foundation, and Get In Chicago put out a design competition to develop programs to reduce violence in the Inglewood community. We thought this was our chance. So my program, Youth Advocate Programs, teamed up with Children Home and Aid, now Brightpoint, to see if this cognitive behavioral therapy and strength-based wraparound would be effective. The kids in the program named the program Choose to Change. The young people in the program are the ages between 13 and 18. They come from various backgrounds. They've had various challenges. But when we meet the young people, one of the great things about the program is we hired people who from the community or had lived in the community. But more importantly, there were people who were caring and compassionate for the kids. Brightpoint hired therapists, but we didn't call them therapists. We called them coaches. And the coaches were embedded with the team, with the advocates who lived in the community, along with the coaches. We worked together and we produced some fantastic outcomes. As I said earlier, the kids named the program Choose to Change. I want to tell you about Jack. It's one of the kids, this is just an example. Jack, at age 7, he saw someone get shot. At 13, he's currently on probation. He's had some setbacks in school and had some disruptions. He's had anger issues. His father is incarcerated and his mother is underemployed. Jack meets his advocate. And his advocate asked him 4 questions. What do you need? How can we help? How can we work together as equal partners? And how can you give back? And Jack is like, nobody ever asked me a question like that. What do you need? How can I help? How can we work as equal partners? But when we ask those questions, we develop what's called an individualized service plan. And we build that plan based on what the young people describe as their needs and their family. We partner together. We work together on the plan. After we establish a relationship with Jack, we introduce him to the group. After he gets introduced to the group, the coaches and the advocates work together, and he learns decision-making, how to deal and manage with his anger, along with the advocates supporting them, taking them to events, being engaged. Now, Jack has the tools to deal with when he's faced those 3 minutes. Over the last 8 years, we've served 2,000 students with this model. And we have some fantastic outcomes. After a rigorous evaluation in partnership with University of Chicago Crime and Education Lab and Chicago Public Schools, we were able to produce these results. During the program, participants experienced a 48% reduction in violent crime arrests. 1.5 years after the program, we experienced a 38% reduction in violent crime arrests. 2.5 years after the program, C2C youth are 33% less likely to be arrested for anything. And, you know, these outcomes are from a community working together, 2 agencies, staff, the kids, the community working together to produce these great results. These kids are changing their lives. One of the graduates, and I'm gonna call her name is Keisha. She said, you all helped me graduate. And we found out from Keisha, and one of the things that the advocates do is find out what her strengths were. She was interested in being a rapper. So the advocate went out, found studio time, helped her find a job, built on her strengths, and she was a pretty good rapper. So they found spoken word events, and they also armed her with the tools so that her past would not derail her future. We gave her the support, we established relationships, and we continue to do this work. Strong relationships, mentoring, combined with trauma-informed care, produce some unbelievable results. We should be investing in these communities that young people who have to deal with the violence associated in these communities, our job is to advocate for the resources for disinvested communities, to ensure that the resources and righting the wrongs of historical racial injustice. Our job is to change the trajectory of these young people's lives in those 3 minutes. And if we work together as a community, 3 minutes can change lives. Thank you.